got that tail loose, if we've sided the animal correctly, and we've got the side skinned around over here pretty well, we've got this, better than halfway to 3/4 way, maybe we'll just take that a little bit further out around the back of the animal, just like so, but we've got that skin back pretty far along the side, and we've done the same thing on this side. We've skinned this back pretty far here, just working along between the membrane and the hide. Now what we can do, we can put our knife away here because we don't want to injure ourselves. And we can just grab a hold of this tail just like so and just pull that right down the back. If it gets tight on you, go ahead and take your knife and do a little bit of skinning, but you should be able to reach up under here, get a good grip on that, put one hand here and just push right down on that hide. See that? See how nice and easy that comes down? Once you've skinned that around, as I said, on this side, around to about where the loin comes in, and then the same on the other side, around about to where the loin comes in, and just get a hold of that hide, strip it straight down the back. This saves you a lot of skinning time. Now we're going to come back around to the tender area here. We want to be very careful here. This is what our taxidermist really needs. So from here down and the rest of the way through the neck, we want to make sure that we don't cut any holes. So we really want to take our time skinning this part down. So here's what we'll do. We'll take our skinning knife out once again, and we'll just start working our way down. The exact same procedure will apply. Careful here getting started that we don't cut any of those hair follicles. We don't want to make a big mess. And just keep skinning right here. Membrane and hide, membrane and hide. To get into the meat a little bit. That's actually right now it's better to get into the meat a little bit and leave a little extra meat on the hide than it is to actually cut a hole in the hide. So if you need to leave a little meat on there, that's okay. The tanner will go ahead and take that right off whenever he gets it to the tanning department. Okay, and we'll just keep skinning this right down in towards that armpit area. Okay, and just work it down just like we did with the hide when it was up around the tail. Come over to the other side here. Keep skinning this down. Working between the membrane and the hide. As you can see, I am leaving a little bit of meat there on the hide. But that's okay, because we're going to take this to the taxidermist and we're not worried about it. Okay, we'll skin this right down there. If we really want to get technical about it and really take our time, sure, we can go ahead and take that meat off of there and leave every last little ounce of it right on the hide. See there how I'm doing that? You can leave every bit of it, on the carcass and work that right down around. But as I said, when I'm caping an animal out for a taxidermist, I don't worry so much about it. I try just to be very careful that I don't cut any holes in the hide. So my taxidermist, and also be careful of scoring the hide also, because if you cut deep scores into the hide to where you start exposing the roots of the hide, whenever it gets to the fleshing department, it'll make holes in it as they begin fleshing it anyway. So just be very careful. If you need to leave a little bit of meat on the hide, go ahead and do so until you become comfortable with your skinning abilities. Okay, just keep working this right down. Now in here it's going to start getting pretty tight because you're working right in between these front legs. And it starts to get a little bit difficult. So as I said, just really take your time. And these outdoor edge knives are very sharp. So just take your time. You don't want to cut any holes in the hide and you don't want to score the hide. Okay, now that we've got it down that far, we'll start working our way around to the back again and begin bringing the back side down a little ways. Okay, and then we'll just keep working the back side down here, coming around. Now it's actually just like working in a circle. So if you just want to keep spinning the carcass, skinning your way around, spin it a little bit, skin it around, turn it back this way, and just keep skinning and working it on down. Pull down on here, keep strong pressure, as we said before, and be careful right in around these front legs. It's very easy to cut a hole in around these front legs if you're not careful. Maybe prop that up on your leg like this so you can get back underneath there, skin that back. Because if it's laying down like this and you're trying to skin up underneath there, the hide's not good and taut. You pull this up like this, see that makes that hide nice and taut right there. And then just keep skinning that down, staying right between the membrane and the hide. Work your way right down around here. Keep going here. You can see some of the meats want to come with the hide. If you need to take a little meat with the hide, go ahead, as we spoke about earlier. Okay, now we'll come around to this other front leg. Same thing. We'll prop it up on the leg. Now we'll begin skinning down right here. Keep working your way down around. And as I said, you can just spin the animal and keep working your way right down around. Just be very careful right down here when you're working in between these front legs that you don't accidentally cut a hole. It's very important to take your time down in there because you've got those legs to contend with the entire time. Just keep skinning down along there. And until you're comfortable with your skinning ability, it's okay to leave a little meat on the hide. When you're caping one like this, it's better to leave the meat on the hide. Now, if you're just skinning a meat animal, then you can sharpen up your skinning skills and try to do the best you can and leave all that meat right on the carcass. But if it starts to get tight in one spot, like what we were getting over here on this side right here, I was starting to have a little trouble getting it to go down any further, then what's happening is I need to just spin the animal, come to the other side, and just work it down over there. Okay? Spin it again, and keep working your way around. Just keep turning the animal, working your way around the whole way down till you hit the base of the ears. And what you want to do is just keep on pulling this hide, keep pulling the hide down over the horns. Just keep dropping it down over the horns as you work your way down. Just keep dropping it down over the horns. And we're going to finish skinning this in the same procedure. Just keep turning the animal, and we're going to skin it the whole way down to the jawbone into the base of the ears. Now we've taken our time and just keep working that hide down around the neck, in between the front shoulders, as we talked about earlier. Work it the whole way down until you get down near the base of the ears and near the jawbone. If you start having trouble, because the further down this neck you go, the tighter this hide gets and the harder it is to get it worked down. So if you begin having trouble once you get down there, if you're not comfortable and you're afraid you may poke a hole in the hide, go ahead and stop and take the neck off anywhere you'd like. The taxidermist can finish skinning the rest of it. But to conserve as much meat as possible, because on these bigger bucks there's a lot of meat in this neck area, so go ahead and take that down as far as you can or as far as you feel comfortable. Now what we'll do, once we have it down here, we'll take our Outdoor Edge Cody Skinner here, our big skinner, and we'll just start in right at the base. Be very careful, because right here you can cut a hole in there. We'll start in right here, and we'll just make an incision in the meat right down till I can feel the neck bone. Right there's the neck bone. And then we'll do this the exact same way, and we'll just cut our way right around the animal. And be careful that you don't cut a hole now, because you've skinned it this far without making any mistakes. So just be careful that you don't cut a hole now. Pull down on that hide and go in just above the last spot where you started skinning. Go right into the meat and cut right in until you feel that bone. Okay? Now if you do get it skinned the whole way down to the base of the head, you can take it apart at the neck joint, but if not, you can just work your way in here. This buck's got a really large neck, and this hide is getting really tight down there, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut right in till I hit the neck joint, just like so, and then I'm going to take my saw, bring my saw out, and I'm going to go in right there, and be very careful that you don't cut your hide. Pull down on your hide, and then I'm just going to go ahead and saw my way right through that neck bone. Just like so. We can take that head right off. Okay, now that we're through the neck bone, put the saw away, get the knife back out, and I guess I just have a little piece of meat there that's left attached. We'll take that off, and now we have our cape ready to go. Now that you have the animal completely skinned out, the next procedure is the trimming procedure. A lot of times people will go ahead and get the garden hose out and wash the animal down now. This isn't the correct thing to do, because what you do there is, if you have any dirt on the animal, what washing it with the hose does is just dilute it and spread it throughout the entire length of the carcass. So what you want to do is go through here, take your knife, and trim any dirt, hair, or anything that you may see on the animal. You want to go ahead and trim that off. Trimming is the correct procedure. So what we'll do here is, any place where we see any dirt where the hide may have flipped over on the animal, we'll just go ahead and skin that off. We'll try to pick all these hairs off. A great thing to do with these hairs is, if you have a nice rag, an old shirt or something like that, as you pick those hairs, just wipe them onto that shirt. It's a great way to do that. But we'll go ahead and